What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 461st episode of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. Good to have you guys in today. Let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to talk about the similarities between feminists and pro-blacks, and for those of you listening on the replay, I'm using air quotes. Now, all feminists are pretty much the same. They hate men. They want to take down the patriarchy. They believe in egalitarian relationships. They believe men and women are equal. They believe in the ridiculous wage gap. The list goes on and on. All feminists believe pretty much the same things. That's just how this goes. There are a few who have more extreme views, but by and large, all feminists are on the same page. Pro-blacks, however, are not all the same, and that's where I want to make this distinction. The pro-blacks that I am comparing feminists to today are they're not the real black leaders who support the black community, who support black people, who support black businesses. The real pro-blacks who hold African Americans accountable for their actions and demand better from us. The real pro-blacks are the ones who actually make a difference and are genuinely interested in real change and understand that much of that change starts with us as African Americans. I'm not talking about those guys. Oh, no. The guys I'm talking about are what I like to call fake pro-blacks. And because I'm on this side of YouTube, I don't want to swear too much. African Americans in this country who call themselves pro-blacks, but then they turn around and embrace victimhood in every racial situation. People who call themselves pro-blacks, who never look at any situation objectively and remove any and all accountability from African Americans in any situation. I'm talking about people who call themselves pro-blacks who aren't really interested in change, but interested in protesting or making a big deal out of something insignificant to push an agenda and are more interested in affirmation rather than confirmation. Fake pro-blacks don't want to get it right. They want to be right. All of that said, if you take a look at fake pro-blacks and feminists, you'll actually see that they have quite a bit in common with one another. One might even think that they're actually taking their cues from one another because the way they operate is extremely similar. The way they push their ideologies are very much alike. And again, if you really look closer, these similarities, they're as clear as day. They're very, very obvious. So now that we know who we're talking about and who we're not, let's go ahead and get started with the 8 ways fake pro-blacks and feminists are exactly alike. Number 1, they always take the side of blacks, no matter what the situation. Well, it's the same with feminists. Feminists hear about an altercation between a man and a woman at work, in public, whatever, a verbal, physical, whatever. Feminists always take the side of the woman no matter what. A woman doesn't get her latte at 187.5 degrees and she gets out of pocket and makes a scene. And females like this always escalate physically if they don't get exactly the response they want. They try the name calling. They try I want to talk to your manager. They do anything and everything to make people look and feel stupid and uncomfortable. But when they see it's not working, this is when they escalate. First, it's making a scene. Then it goes to the name calling. Then it's the swearing. Then it's let me talk to your manager. But if the dude holds frame, if he toes the company line and addresses her politely without getting drawn into her shenanigans, it makes her more angry because he's not apologizing profusely for offering her a free cup of coffee or other free stuff. Females never just back off, guys. They continue getting out of pocket until the dude has had enough. First, he tells her to leave, which she obviously won't. Then he has to forcibly remove her from the premises, which then gets caught on video and uploaded to YouTube. Then it goes viral. Then the feminists come screaming abuse, assault, sexual abuse, and all this other noise, knowing full well that the woman was at fault in the situation and had to be removed. Now, a lot of times when people upload this kind of nonsense to YouTube, they cut out the part where she's getting out of pocket. They cut out the part where she's name calling. I want to talk to your manager, trying to jump over the counter. They remove that part from the video. They edit out the video. All they show is a dude forcibly removing a female from the situation. Guys, fake pro-blacks are exactly the same way. They hear about or they see a white person and a black person getting into some sort of altercation about whatever, verbal, physical, whatever. And fake pro-blacks always take the side of the black person, even in the face of evidence that clearly shows that they were at fault or responsible or complicit in that situation. I watched a series, I think it was a couple of falls ago, called American Horror Story Cult. And there was a white guy who was trying to pass off all Mexicans are bad propaganda. So what he did is he filled up a condom with pee. Okay? He threw this condom. It was like a water balloon filled with pee. He throws it right into the middle of a bunch of Mexicans. The Mexicans see who it is. He's like, "Hey, come and get me." They beat the crap out of him. Okay? Someone was recording that. They uploaded it to YouTube, and it was propaganda for Mexicans must go because they're violent. Needless to say, whoever shot the video conveniently cut out the part where he peed in the condom and threw a pissy water balloon that exploded and got all their clothes dirty. Feminists are never interested in the whole story. They're only interested in the feminist angle, regardless of their circumstances. Guys, fake pro-blacks are even worse when it comes to this. Men like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Malik Zulu Shabazz, aka Paris Lewis, with that Duke lacrosse situation. It doesn't matter what our responsibility is in the situation. Oh, no. White people are devils and they gotta go. Number two, the second way fake pro-blacks and feminists are exactly the same is they never hold themselves accountable for bad situations. They don't own up to their role in a bad situation. When a woman behaves badly and gets knocked out, and there are plenty of videos like this on YouTube, and by the way, don't hit women. I'm not advocating that you become violent towards women. This is wrong. I'm against it 100%. But they never hold the woman accountable for putting her hands on him first, spilling her drink on him, damaging his property, getting in his face, and talking a bunch of junk. Look at the Subway video. We've all seen that Subway video where that girl is talking all this noise to this dude, and it was probably 10, 15 minutes. The guy finally had enough, and he slapped the taste out of her mouth. Then a white knight jumps in and tries to accost him, and he ends up getting the brakes beat off of him over an out-of-pocket woman. Look at the bus video where the girl is talking all this junk to the bus driver. He walks over and just uppercuts her. Boom! Throws her off the bus, throws her bags off the bus. If a dude breaks a woman's face for getting out of pocket, they never point out the fact that maybe she shouldn't have been talking all that noise to that dude in the first place. Maybe she shouldn't be talking shit to someone she's giving 100 pounds away to. This guy is bigger, faster, stronger than you. No, those men should not have hit these women. But if I don't want to get my car stolen, I lock my doors. Right? Like, that's how this goes. Taking a side no matter what means being completely devoid of accountability, guys. And listen, I'm going to talk about a hot button issue, and I might lose some subscribers and patrons because of this, but I'm going to say it. Trayvon Martin was on top of George Zimmerman. Trayvon Martin should not have been killed. We know this. But Trayvon wasn't an innocent little schoolboy. No, he shouldn't have been killed, but not holding someone accountable for their role in a bad situation, that's irresponsible. Don't get adversarial with an overzealous neighborhood watchman. When black men get shot and killed, we never talk about what not to do in those situations. Oh, OMG, a cop shot an unarmed black man. Well, in some of those cases, the unarmed black man, maybe he gestured threateningly toward the cop. Or maybe he got physical with the cop. And guys, we know that white cops are trigger happy anyway with black people. Why are we physically accosting cops? This is ridiculous. There's no need to prove a point. There are racist cops out there. Let's not egg them on. Then we hold vigils for these people, and we don't want to speak ill of the dead. Pro-blacks don't want to talk about the fact that Michael Brown assaulted Officer Darren Wilson. This is the whole Ferguson situation. Fake pro-blacks don't want to hold people accountable for their role in a bad situation. They want to absolve all blacks because we're black. Guys, that's irresponsible. Bad things happen, guys. We know this. But by the same token, we need to make sure that we are avoiding those situations. Yes, there are racist cops out there. We don't need any more proof. There's no need to get out of your car and acting like an idiot, take a couple of slugs to the chest to become a martyr. Listen, we know that there are racist white cops out there, guys. I actually got my bike stolen in a bad part of town. When I lived in Reno, got my bike stolen in a bad part of town. But I should have but two things. Number one, I should have used a better lock. Number two, I should have locked my bike up in a better part of town. The bike thief was wrong, yes, but I know what people are like in that area. And because I know that, I should have exercised better judgment. If you know cops are trigger happy, do not provoke them. He gave me a ticket because I'm black and he put me in the handcuffs. No, he gave you a ticket because you were speeding and your tags were past due. And when he asked for your license and registration, you got loud and belligerent. Again, bad things happen. But if pro-blacks never hold blacks accountable for their role in a bad situation, things aren't going to change. You're going to have these dudes out here wilding out and getting shot because rather than talk about what we can do to avoid these situations, fake pro-blacks want to bitch and moan about what's fair and what's not. Hey, listen, life ain't fair, guys. There was a guy in Florida, a white guy in Florida, who was biting people's faces off after this white guy killed two people. They accosted this dude and took him alive. Guys, that's not right. Had that been a black man, they'd have put 78 slugs in him. You kidding me? That ain't right, but that's life. We have to play the hand that we're dealt. It does us no good to talk about what's fair and what's not if we're not giving each other solutions to keep us alive and even the playing field. Feminists damn sure don't want to do that. And we can see that women are getting worse and worse by the day because the world is giving them a free pass to do whatever they want. Consequences be damned. Fake pro-blacks are literally exactly the same way. The third way fake pro-blacks and feminists are exactly the same is they don't feel like they should have to change or adjust. They want the world around them to adjust. Feminists are always bellyaching about why men don't want to commit to them. They're always complaining about why men don't take them seriously and why we're the ones with the problems because we don't want to marry fat, tattooed women with bull rings and purple hair who can't cook anything outside of a grilled cheese sandwich. Men shouldn't like these women. That's the difference. But the point is that if you want a good outcome with men, women have to be proactive to make a change. It's the same with men. Lose weight, stop being promiscuous, stop getting tattoos, and stop dyeing your hair green. It's that simple. Pro-blacks think that white people and racists should change to make their situation better. Here's the problem. They ain't here for that, guys. I'm here to tell you, racist white people ain't changing, guys. They're not going to do it. This ain't the movies, man. This ain't Remember the Titans. This ain't The Help. This ain't TV where racist white people see the error of their ways and completely change. Guys, I'm here to tell you, once a racist, always a racist. And that includes black people, by the way. White people shouldn't care about our problems. There's a YouTuber who called me lost when I talked about the things that you should do to keep yourself from getting pulled over before you drive. The dude fashioned himself a pro-black intellectual. He thinks that things in the black community should remain status quo and that the white world should just adjust to us. He thinks that white cops should just change their mindsets when they see us riding around with white girls or with a taillight out or with our inspection 5 minutes past due. He might be right, but guess what? They're not doing that, guys. They're not. You cannot control the behavior of other people. You cannot control the thoughts of other people. All you can do is control what you do. Feminists want women to get respect. Okay? Well, feminists, if you want respect, then earn it. It's not going to be given to you just because you demand it. Men don't respect you just because you're sleeping with them. Fake pro-blacks want racism to go away, but it's not going to happen until we make the change. Stop having 3 and 4 kids out of wedlock. Stop embracing that ghetto culture. Not having our I's dotted and our T's crossed when we drive. This is just how it goes. Guys, racist white people ain't changing. Stop bitching and moaning about how they need to change. Listen, maybe they absolutely need to change. They're not. Don't bitch and moan about the fact that you have a 2, a 4, a jack, and a couple. No. You play the hand that you're dealt. Either that or you can fold and walk away from the table. If you like my content, Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to troll, if you want to throw shade, if you want to hate on me, hit that thumbs down button and leave a comment to tell me why you don't like me. Either way is cool with me. A couple of ways to contribute to my show. You can do that via Super Chat or the Streamlabs link. www.streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe1. Again, www.streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe and the number 1, whichever way is most convenient for you. Trust me when I tell you, I appreciate every penny, guys. I am constantly upgrading my studio. You guys can see that I just bought another computer system, another computer tower, hooked it up to these two, got a brand new monitor. So I try to reinvest in the show to make sure that you guys are having the best viewing experience. This is real talk. You guys have seen the evolution of my studio. Make sure you guys sign up for my newsletter to stay in the know on all things Donovan Sharpe. And if you have a show idea, if you see a video, if you see a blog post or something on social media, hit me at tsr@donovansharpe.com or the contact tab on my website, donovansharpe.com. Put that newsletter link in the chat. If you want additional content, sign up for my Patreon. Over the weekend, I released a 2-part video series on why promiscuous women are so easy to fall in love with and how to avoid said traps. Today, I'm actually going to be releasing yesterday, lost my place there. Yesterday, I released my 7 ironclad rules to follow when messing with single mothers. And today, I'm releasing a really, really good archive video I did with Drew Bay, where he discusses the biggest mistakes that men make in the gym. All of this is top level content, guys. So to get your hands on this stuff, you got to get your hands on this stuff. Patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Again, that is patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Shout out to HS Lee 169 with the $5 contribution. HS Lee 169 is a regular contributor of mine. He did so through the Streamlabs link that I'm putting in the chat right now. All right, let's continue. The 4th way that fake pro-blacks are just like feminists. Their whole lives are about racism. Well, feminists' whole lives are about feminism. It's all they talk about. It's all they care about. It's all they blog about. It's all they text about. All feminists do is talk about the patriarchy. Men are evil. Men are perverts. Feminism is the greatest thing ever. Sexual liberation, slut walks, everything they do from sun up till sundown is all about feminism. They never take a break to do or think about anything else. Even at the grocery stores, they're looking at labels and saying, "See, male privilege." Now, to be fair, I am much the same way. I see red pill truth everywhere, and I talk about it a lot, but I make a living doing this, and I hope that men change. I help men change their lives. All feminists do is complain and make the lives of others worse, period. Well, as it happens, fake pro-blacks are exactly the same way, guys. They get up, they read their newspaper, their blog, Racism Today, go to their pro-black blog to read about the 5 stories about isolated racist incidents around the world. They go to work and talk about racism. They talk about racism at lunch. Everything they do, their whole existence revolves around racism, just like militant feminists. There's no break. Everything has a racist angle to it. Why has the street got to be black for people to drive on? Why good clouds got to be white, but the storm clouds got to be black? Stupid, silly shit that you would never think about from a racist angle. These guys find it. Right, listen, we've all had that friend who finds racism in everything. And guys, trust me when I tell you that, dude, that stuff gets old very quickly. I saw a dude at the airport. This is actually on my way to the 21 convention. I got the black community telling me I'm a sellout because I'm a part of the 21 convention. Keep it coming. Keep the hate coming. Keep the hate coming. All of this hate, dude, my YouTube channel has just shot into the stratosphere. Like a month ago, like 2 weeks ago, I was at 5,200 subscribers. I think I've just cracked 8,500. So by all means, keep coming. Keep calling me all the names. Keep calling me all the names. Anyway, I saw a dude at the airport with this black shirt on, right? And it was a bunch of text. I just laughed. It said, quote, "Dear racism, I am not my grandparents. Sincerely, these hands. The hell you gonna do? Hit someone that calls you the N-word? This dude wants everyone to know that these hands are gonna scare racists away. Dude's asking for attention and asking for trouble all at the same time because he just can't leave this racism thing alone. That is his only existence. I remember when I worked in Atlanta. I used to work for this mattress company. Greatest boss I ever had. And there's this dude I worked with. His name was Minister Clyde. You know, listen, everybody's a minister in Atlanta, right? I walked in on a conversation and I asked what it was about. He's like, man, we just talk about all the racism in the world. And I said, is that all you ever talk about or think about? This dude got mad, said, boy, you don't be knowing. These white folks out here will kill you. And I said, maybe, but I'm not going to stand around and talk about it all day. All fake pro-blacks do is bitch and moan and complain about racism. They're not well-rounded people. As it happens, neither are feminists. They don't care about anything but feminists. It's all they do. It's all they talk about. Yes, I'm a red pill guy and I do a red pill show every day, but I have other interests outside of the red pill community. I like to bake. I love flowers. I have a green thumb. I love sports. I like to lift weights. I like to bowl. Hopefully, if I have time, I'll be able to sign up for a softball league this summer. My whole existence doesn't revolve around me talking about fat chicks and feminists. Fortunately for me and other men like me, I talk about things like self-improvement, getting your finances in order, getting your body right, taking up productive hobbies, involving yourself in projects that increase your value as a man. Guys, I live this life. This is who I am. And you guys know this. So there's nothing wrong with eating, drinking, and breathing red pill awareness. But when you roll out of bed and the first thing that comes to your mind is why you hate men like feminists do, or why you hate white people like pro-blacks do, guys, that is a miserable existence. It's gotta be. It has to be. I can't imagine what it must be like to be pissed off all the time. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Number 5, the fifth way. Fake pro-blacks and feminists are exactly the same. They can't handle criticism or real-life truths about themselves, but they take offense when someone else points out their flaws. You tell a feminist that women are the weaker, less intelligent, less rational, less motivated sex, and they fire back with all these BS statistics about how women do better in school. Ronda Rousey, Margaret Thatcher, and all that. Now, we know that the American education system caters to females, while it stacks the deck against men. We also know that Ronda Rousey wouldn't last 10 seconds in an octagon with a male who's never been in a fight in his life, and that Margaret Thatcher is one of the very few exceptions to the rule. We know this. The point is that feminists can never accept hard and fast truths about themselves. They can never outwardly admit that there are fundamental differences between men and women. They want all the respect and all the power that comes with being called strong and independent without actually having to have the qualifications or the stick-to-itiveness to accomplish being strong and independent simply because they're women. Now, women do bring things to the table that men generally do not. Women read people much better. Women women have babies, right? Like, that's an amazing thing to do. Right? And they're more capable of bringing the human element of compassion into certain situations where that is absolutely necessary. But rather than embracing their strengths and working on their working on embracing their strengths and working on their weaknesses, no. They make women think that they're bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, and far superior to men in every way. Guys, that's dangerous. This is why women are getting knocked out, because they see Captain Marvel beating up a bunch of men. Captain Marvel can do it, then I can do it. Let me walk up on the dude who's 6'4", 250 pounds. If Captain Marvel, boom, that's it. She gets knocked out. It's wrong to do that. I'm not advocating violence, but this is how it is. Fake pro-blacks, gentlemen, do the same thing. You tell pro-blacks that black people have a lower IQ than white people, they lose their minds. Now, as a side note, I don't think that's true. Maybe, listen, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I'm black. I would like to think that I'm a highly intelligent person, right? But here's the thing, the IQ isn't something that I'm going to get into. And the reason for that is because you can't quantify a man's motivation. you can't quantify a man's priorities. There are a lot of people with high IQs but have no common sense and are lazy. Then there are a lot of people who have low IQs who do very well in life because they have a plan and they have goals. Either way, if you tell pro-blacks anything negative about the black race at all, they go absolutely mental. Then, when you say blacks are physically and genetically superior, there's no argument. We know this is true. Look at our professional sports leagues. Look at the, Mr. Olympia. I'm not getting into that. But the point is they only like hearing favorable things about black people, but then they want to argue when someone points out that black people may not be perfect in every way. Dare I say black supremacy? The problem with this mindset, guys, is that it causes blacks to have a false sense of superiority. What does this mean? It means a lot of times they think things should just happen for them. I'm really intelligent, so opportunity should just be around every corner. I am physically superior, so I can get away with working out once a week and eating whatever I want. And what ends up happening is stagnation and lack of motivation. Because fake pro-blacks cannot have an honest conversation with themselves or anybody else about who we really are as a people. Like any race out there, guys, we as black people, we have strengths and we have weaknesses. Acknowledging both helps us to understand the things that we are good at and the things that we need to work to improve upon. But like feminists who say things like, if women ran the world, there would be no wars, or women are perfect in every way, are just like pro-blacks who think black people are the master race. Number 6. The 6th way, fake pro-blacks are just like feminists. They are extremely entitled, right? Fake pro-blacks, reparations, feminism, women's suffrage. Feminists, gentlemen, are the most entitled group of people on the face of the earth. They think they deserve the best of everything because they happen to be born with a vajayjay. Trying to keep it clean here for YouTube, guys. They think they're entitled to the same opportunity as men because they say so, right? Never mind that they've almost never had to have the qualifications. They're entitled to the opportunity because they want it. Feminists want everything to be equal and fair all the time, but like fake pro-blacks, they cannot wrap their minds around the fact that sometimes life isn't fair. We all say life isn't fair, but fake pro-blacks ain't trying to hear that. They want everything to be fair all the time, every day, and it's just not like that. But the one thing that fake pro-blacks feel entitled to, it is the most ridiculous thing ever: reparations. And for those of you who aren't familiar with reparations, the long and the short of it is fake pro-blacks believe that the government should pay today's black people for all of the unpaid labor the slaves did back in the day. Now, I'm not a historian. I'm sure there are other elements to it, but that's the gist of it. Our ancestors put in years and years of work and were never paid. So now we as black people who never worked a single minute on a plantation, picked a single ounce of cotton, or a single sugarcane stalk, we want to get paid for work somebody else did. Pro-blacks are steady complaining about, we need reparations. Get out of here with that. We're not entitled to get money for something we never did. If we didn't physically work for it, then we don't deserve it, period. Well, that happened back then, and it has a lot to do with the way things are today, so we deserve reparations. That's BS. We are not entitled to reparations. We are entitled to the same rights and liberties as everyone else in the United States. If a wrong has been done to you in the name of racism, there are avenues to get the justice that you deserve. No, those avenues of justice don't always pan out. Remember that life isn't fair thing. But paying a bunch of black people for the work slaves did years ago, that doesn't solve anything. And fake pro-blacks know it. Number 7, the 7th way, fake pro-blacks are just like feminists. It's never enough. American women in 2019, they live the best lifestyles of any class of any human on the planet. Life is positively trouble-free for women. They're treated like princesses from birth. They sail through school. They get into pretty much whatever college they want. Then they cheat their way to a useless degree. Then they get jobs that they are neither qualified to do nor are interested in actually working for, and they still make great money. The laws benefit females in this country in every conceivable way. Family courts give mother custody better than 90% of the time, regardless of circumstances. Ex-wives get 96% of all alimony payments in the United States. They get 84% of all child support payments. And even if he signs a prenup, the laws have been modified over the years to make a lot of them useless with the right lawyer, the right judge, the right jurisdiction, which is pretty much anyone, anywhere. Women get favorable treatment in traffic court, civil court, criminal court. The law protects them if they accuse a man of rape, meaning she doesn't get her name on public record if she makes a false rape accusation. And there's almost never an arrest for making a false rape accusation or filing a false police report. The one exception that I know of was my own experience back in, God, it was 2.5 years I did an episode where it took a recording of the girl admitting lying to the 911 operator to put her behind bars. And I can promise you she probably didn't even get prosecuted. A girl tried to accuse me of false domestic violence. I recorded a conversation. You guys can go back and I forget which episode it is. It's called How I Avoided a False Domestic Violence Accusation. It's also on Return of Kings. I took a recording. She stupidly admitted that it was untrue. I played it for the cops. She got arrested. I went home. They probably let her walk, which, and I don't care. I don't care. Just stay away from me. Her name was Dee Dee. She was mental. She was batshit crazy. The law gives women the power to put any man behind bars merely by saying he put his hands on her. Women are treated with the utmost respect wherever they go. They are never held accountable for their bad behavior. They are repeatedly bailed out of bad situations by the law, by men, the Plan B pill, by abortions, just about everything else. Women can be sexually promiscuous. They can be financially irresponsible. They can be physically violent. They can be negligent and sometimes even abusive parents and outright criminal, and do it all with impunity, meaning they never really face consequences for their actions. The system in the United States is set up to give women the best lives of any class of human in the world, and they still want more. The more we give women in this country, the more they want. The more their lives improve, the more they want. It is never, ever, ever going to be enough. Now, pro-blacks aren't really exactly the same in this regard. Yes, there is a long way to go as far as race relations in this country goes. But the fact of the matter is that the civil rights movement and everything that's happened after that has drastically, it's improved race relations in the United States. I would say we've probably digressed since maybe about the 80s or 90s. I know as well as anybody out there that we are multi-generations away from racism ever ceasing to be an issue, whether it's systemic racism, institutional racism, learned racism, and even then it's never going to be completely gone. But here's what pro-blacks do have in common with feminists in this regard. Nothing will ever be enough for fake pro-blacks. I could snap my fingers right now and vanquish racism on every level, and fake pro-blacks will still find a way to squeeze blood out of a turnip. They'll find something racist about every situation just to stay relevant and to find something to bitch and moan about. A company opens up and hires all black people. They're patronizing African Americans. We don't need their charity. This is altruistic racism. That same company opens up and hires exactly 50% whites and 50% blacks. There should be more blacks working for this company. A black billionaire pledges to pay off the student debt of 400 students at an HBCU, amounting to some $40 million. He's married to a white woman. That's racist. It doesn't matter what the issue is. It will never be enough for fake pro-blacks. The eighth and final way I'm going to point out here that fake pro-blacks and feminists are exactly the same. They don't really want change, guys. They live to complain about racism. This is what they want. And the hard truth is that both feminists and pro-blacks, they don't really want things to change, because if they did, they would lose their sense of identity. What would Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton do if racism just disappeared? You ever ask yourself that? Well, Donovan, what would you do if all women all of a sudden just became feminine? I would still be the same. I would still live my life with much less of a headache. What would feminists do if there really was equality between the sexes, meaning both men and women being held to exactly the same standards and judged on exactly the same metrics and merits, they would still find something to complain about. See, this is why feminists and fake pro-blacks always find another angle anytime an issue they bring up is resolved. Because the more issues are resolved, the less they have to complain about. And the less they have to complain about, the less relevant they become until they're not relevant at all. This is why they always find another issue to complain about. Women in this country have it so good. There are literally no other issues to complain about. So what did they do? They made up this hashtag #MeToo nonsense to stay relevant. Well, once every man who has ever talked to a woman in the workplace has been fired, what next? Hashtag yes means no. Hashtag no means yes. Hashtag consent. Hashtag consent means I didn't want to sleep with you. Hashtag putting on a condom doesn't mean I may not want to have. Fake pro-blacks are exactly the same way in that they don't really want things to change. Because if they really did, fake pro-blacks would have to find another hustle. Being pro-black is genuine. Being a fake pro-black, that's an industry. It is Wednesday, June 5th, 2019. Time is passing by very, very quickly. As you guys can see, I've made some studio upgrades. I've added another screen, rearranged some things here on my set. Big thanks to Josh Quick with the $2 super chat. Says somehow a person will say this guy is racist. Man, I'm here to tell you, man. I had this friend when I lived in High Point. His name was Daryl. And he was always, dude, he was just ridiculous. I couldn't even get mad at the kid because it was just so funny. Like, we used to egg him on, be like, yo, that building is painted all white. Like, what's up with that? He'd be like, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. They don't give a damn about you. Yeah, for real. Like, we used to egg him on. It was funny. It was actually quite funny. I'm about to talk about the signs that you are a purple pill boy masquerading as a red pill man. And because it is definitely not YouTube friendly, I'm going to do it in the private stream. If you want to watch the rest of this show and learn about the 5 ways you are a purple pill boy masquerading as a red pill man, go to donovansharpe.com/live. I'm putting it in the chat right now. donovansharpe.com/live. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the other side.